Hey guys, Dr. Mark Lewis Johnson Sr. here, and welcome to another edition of the Blue Jacket Book Review. Now, today's book is entitled 30 Years That Changed the World, the book of Acts for today. That's by Michael Green. Now, this book is a critical book because it allows the 21st century audience to look back at the first century audience and say, how'd you do it? How were you able to accomplish that? What was it about what you all did that can be beneficial for us today? So this book, Michael Green examines those 30 years, and we're talking about from about 33 to about 64 AD, early Christians and what they did. That's going to be critically important as we think about how did they become the largest religion in the world, given they were so small starting out and so new starting out. Something happened, and there was a lot of things that took place. In this book, it really takes a look at the history during the first century. We're talking about the Roman Empire and how Rome's creativity and how technology was used in order for the Christians to have success. Because imagine this, you had like new roads were being built. A common language was established. You had the tolerance for religious differences. And somehow in God's providence, He sticks the Christians right there in that time, right in the middle where technology was advanced. You had roads where they can travel up and down. You had the tolerance for religious differences. Those kind of things made a difference as the Roman rule when you start thinking about the early church and some of the things that they were able to do during that time. Now, it doesn't mean, and we know that there was persecution that took place, a lot of persecution that took place. But it came right in a 30-year span that was the perfect setting for an explosion of the gospel. I mean, you can't tell me that the Lord is not omnipresent. He's like all-knowing. He's like whatever you need. He's there. He's almighty. He's everything. That He would place the Christian faith in a place at the right exact time for it to take off. So by examining the early church, Michael Green discovered that he can offer today's church some insights into church leadership, into preaching, pastoral care, how they take care of each other, preaching, and the handling of social concerns. He lifts all that up and says, listen, this is how they did it. And these same things that we are concerned with, they were concerned with, and they did it well. Let's look at them and take a look at how they did it so that we can duplicate it and possibly do the same. First three chapters, Green highlights the overwhelming opposition in the early church. We're talking about persecution. We're talking about the providence of God's providence and the underappreciated expertise of writers like Luke, who had this ability to do a lot of things because he was a brilliant mind. He was an investigator. He was a physician. He had all these things going for him. Later on in that chapter, he talks about bridges and ditches. You'll see that phrase mentioned a lot. That's highlighting the forces working for and against the early church. There's some bridges and then there's some ditches. So we have a lot of people doing a lot of great things during the first century that he just lifts that up. And by examining how the early church handled things like their approach, their lifestyle, their message, how did they do apologetics? How did they do church planting? How did they do pastoral care, church life, leadership? How did they handle the hardships? How was the Holy Spirit used? Green offers a behind-the-scenes look of the early church so that we can glean from it and be the better in the 21st century. So this book is important, and it gives us an opportunity to see a lot of things that happens in the early church that can be used in today's church to make a difference. All right, that's 30 years that changed the world. If you have any questions or comments, shoot me an email at info@marklewisjohnson.com. Want to check out any other book reviews, go to www.marklewisjohnson.com. But in the meantime, may God bless you and keep you in His perfect peace.